Hi, I'm Jen,
And I'm Joey.
and we're here today to introduce holiday activities that you can do with your family that focus on healthy themes. This time of year, we're often bombarded with all sorts of media campaigns around like the perfect family, and we know, especially as parents of young children ourselves, there's no such thing as perfect. But we can get to good enough, and that's what we're going to focus on. So, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, we would like to talk about gratitude.
Yeah, and we hear that word a lot when we're talking about Thanksgiving. Everyone says be thankful for this and be grateful for that. But I don't know how often we actually stop to think about what that means or why it's important. So the research tells us, if you're into that side of it, that gratitude enhances nearly every positive emotional outcome that we can measure. And it buffers us from the negative impacts of stress, of challenges, of hardship, even mental health symptoms. And so to focus on inserting gratitude in your life actually creates a really important pathway toward health. And so that's what we want to reinforce, especially since it's in the name of the holiday, Thanksgiving. And so we've got a sort of method of kind of putting a new face on what gratitude could mean for your holiday and in ways that you could share that with your family.
So we're going to introduce a gratitude chain, and you can use this as a centerpiece or however you want to use it. It's a pretty basic thing. If you went to school in the 80s and 90s, I'm sure you've seen these lovely strips before and made these chains. So you can either have some of them pre-made and also have scissors and things available to adults, and you just take a piece of construction paper. All you need is construction paper, pens, and scissors to do this activity, and either a stapler or tape or glue. Stapler or tape is the easiest way to do this, though. And you're just going to cut off a strip and let people write what they're grateful for or thankful for. With little kids, you can, if they can't write yet, you can either have them draw a picture about something that they're grateful for, or you can interview them. Often interviewing children, you get all sorts of fun responses that you wouldn't normally expect, but that's also a really fun thing you can do. So you could use some different prompts of like, what do you love about getting together with your family? Do you know what it means to be grateful? That one will often inspire some funny responses. And what do you want to tell your friends and family on Thanksgiving? And then all you're going to do is, like I said, just take a strip and write down something you're grateful for. And you'll take your strip and you can connect it to your chain and staple.
Do you mind holding that? Give me a hand here. I'm not great at crafts, and so this is, even the adults need help sometimes too.
But again, this is, managing expectations, especially with little kids. This isn't going to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's just about taking a moment to remember why you're all here together, and why especially like these people in general, and just enjoy some nice moments with them.
Absolutely, and I think something that's kind of nice about this is that when traditionally people will talk about sitting around the table at Thanksgiving and everyone going around and saying something that they're grateful for, and that could be a really rewarding experience. And if that's your tradition, I invite you to continue that. The reason why I kind of like this one also is because it gives you something very visual to look at. And if you think about how exciting it is to have all the family gathered together for Thanksgiving, and maybe just for a few moments we can have harmony and peace for a moment. What's kind of cool is that you look around and not only do you see the people, but you see this long chain of things that can be swirled around the table in a way where it's overflowing with gratitude. And what's kind of fun about that then is, and the kids will like this part, at a certain point that you decide, you go around, you begin to open up the chains, and one by one, you start to read the message that's on the inside. It does not need to be your own message, it can be somebody else's, and that maybe even kind of a point of dialogue even to bring around. So should we try this out and see what we find?
Sure. Laughter and silly moments.
Yes, that was one I wrote. Obviously, if you have kids at home, you understand that not all moments are pleasant, not all moments are easy. And yet, we find these little windows of time when somehow something happens that just makes it all worth it. And for me, those moments often come when I'm hearing my children belly laugh about something, something just so funny or so silly that they just cannot help themselves and they just burst into this authentic laughter. And in the midst of all those hard moments and even the stress of the holidays, I think when I pause and I just reflect on that moment, I feel something in my body that feels wonderful, feels, well, gratitude. And that's what we're trying to help facilitate here.
Mm-hmm. And this can also be if you have a relative or something who just needs something to do. I think maybe we all have an aunt or something like that that could use a job. This can be a fun thing that they can help with. Mm-hmm. So if they can help kids find pens or write or interview, and again having like a prompt list or something like that too. Sometimes we all get stuck, but having something like a prompt list can remind us of that wonderful abundance that we do have in our lives.
Yeah. And if you think about the holidays, often we're thinking about gathering together and preparing these big meals and whatnot, and this just gives you another thing to prepare with each other. It's not edible, but it is rewarding.
So thanks for taking a few moments with us.
Yeah. Thank you again, and have a great holiday.